And it's another day of Barcelona disappointing us because Barcelona are currently losing 4-1. 4-1 to Real Madrid in the Super Cup final. Not competitive, playing absolutely terrible football. We now have had Araujo getting sent off as well. And I'm just going to go through Twitter here as I literally vent because that's what the situation is. Absolutely terrible. I mean, we're talking about... I mean, look at this comment right here, right? Araujo's worst game as a Barcelona in a Barcelona shirt. That's what it's come to. Araujo's worst game in a Barcelona shirt. This is disgusting. I mean, this performance is objectively disgusting. I mean, look at this comment. Barcelona's performance against Real Madrid is nothing short of shameful, not because of the result, but due to how Barcelona set itself up for failure. This is the main thing we have to talk about, right? We can talk about the individual mistakes from Koundé. To be honest, when you start Koundé as center back nowadays, that's what you expect. 2 individual errors for the 4th goal and for the 1st goal as well. Just not a good performance. Playing Araujo as right back when we literally saw in the last game how much he struggled as a right back. So that's another thing that we see. But I think the main thing is, like it says here, lack of coordination in a high line, right? What did you think about? Balde has been underperforming, right? And so if you don't actually create situations where he's able to thrive, you're going to see a version of Balde that's very, very poor. The second important thing is, why are you continuously starting Koundé as a center back? Right back is his best position. I know it's El Clasico. I know that Araujo has done well at times. Remember, at times in that right back position. But this cannot be your plan. When we have the best central center back in La Liga at the moment, you cannot be playing him as a right back, despite how much of Vinicius Junior's capabilities he negates. You cannot do that. You have to play him as a center back. But once again, Barcelona struggled to do that at all. And I mean, you look at this, right? Those players have been absolutely woeful. Don't get me wrong. With the tactical naivety I've seen from Xavi has me baffled. The one thing that I would say from the beginning is that when it comes to El Clasico, this is the one game where I don't really doubt Xavi. Like in most situations, with a lot of games, I'm like, how is he going to approach this game? He's going to struggle. But this is the one time where I'm like, I cannot doubt him because he's done so well in so many El Clasicos. He helped us get a 4-0 win. But today has been absolutely terrible. What we've done today is absolutely disgusting. The way that we set that team up. Like, I'm just going to do a quick search here. Barcelona versus Real Madrid. And I mean, this is ridiculous, right? You're talking about this 4-1 setup here. We started with Torres as a right winger. So no skill, no capability whatsoever. I just thought I saw Madrid score again. Let me just see if they score. They don't score, but close again for Madrid. Okay, yeah. I thought they scored. They apparently didn't, but close enough. We started with Pedri, Torres, and Roberto. Roberto was practically a left winger. I don't know what kind of position he played him in because he was playing so high up. Didn't get involved at all. Made like 1 or 2 runs forward, but other than that was absolutely terrible. We had Pedri, De Jong, and Gundogan starting. Gundogan made an individual mistake himself, but, you know, was one of the better players, you'd argue. Pedri was the only one who actually did anything and was trying. You had Ferran Torres, who's okay, gets into good positions, but cannot finish. We've had the same problem year upon year with that player. Gets into good positions, cannot finish. I remember talking about this in the first season when he was playing with us when he first joined. And it was that Napoli game, that 1-1 Napoli game, where I was like, oh my god, he's actually a really talented young player. If he improves his finishing, he'll be an incredible player, an incredible asset for this team. But you cannot be, 23, which is maybe not that old, but you cannot be 23 for Barcelona and still have the exact same problems. He's not a consistent finisher. He occasionally gets into good positions, but he's not a consistent finisher, and we keep getting bit by that same exact bug every single time. Lewandowski, good finish. I can't really blame him because he's had no service whatsoever. And, I mean, you can blame Lewandowski as much as you want, and of course he has missed quite a few chances, but when you don't consistently provide service, what do you expect from a center forward? What do you expect from a supposed top-level center forward to do? He's not a center forward that's like Benzema, who constantly drop and create chances for himself. He's one that is heavily reliant on getting chances, and we don't provide him anything. And worst of all, that defensive structure. Balde, absolutely terrible. We get him to a final 3rd position time and time again, and before he actually does anything, you already know we're going to lose the ball, and he's going to lose the ball. His crosses are terrible. He's just a shadow of his former self. Defensively, he's good. I'll accept that. He is, a good left back defensively, but that doesn't mean anything when you're struggling so much to actually go and cross the ball as a left fullback for Barcelona, especially after you were seen as the successor for Jordi Alba, who's renowned, and obviously not renowned for his defensive ability, but was renowned for his ability to actually cross the ball. And then you have Christensen and Koundé. First of all, Christensen, I mean, good player, but we've absolutely put him in a system where we're killing him, right? Same thing with Koundé, playing him as a center back, absolutely hopeless. Araujo getting a red card now. And I would say worst of all, Iñaki Peña as well. I mean, you play a really high line, right? We're talking about a high line that was, up to the halfway line. And you play that kind of a high line, what do you expect? You would expect you have a goalkeeper that would actually come forward, right? This is a realistic thing that you'd expect of any team. But that's the problem. We are not seeing that at all. I mean, if you go look at Peña, right? Let me see if I can get a picture of this. But if you get a Peña and look at how his structure is. Okay, this is perfect. You see it where he commits the mistake. They're all running back. What would you expect a supposed sweeper keeper for Barcelona to do? You would expect them to come forward, right? Absolutely not. Not with Barcelona. We're talking about a team where our goalkeeper is acting like a defensive goalkeeper for Atletico Madrid. And he's literally in his own box. He's not even coming forward to get the ball. Like, what are you expecting from your team? If you're playing a high line, you need a keeper that's like Ederson, that's like Neuer, who's constantly sweeping the play. But that's not what Iñaki Peña is doing here at all. So literally system. I'm not sure if this is an individual error, if this is more of a team error, but what is he doing positioning himself there? And I mean, having Ter Stegen, we would not have had this problem, but that's absolutely disgusting for Peña. And it's just more of the same for Barcelona. This is exactly why a lot of people are fed up with this team. Personally, I think Xavi needs to go. It might seem reactionary, but to be honest, I made a video earlier about this very issue, and a lot of people called me out for saying the fact that Xavi needs to go. Oh, he won a league title, oh, all of this. But he is not the manager that we need for Barcelona. He's the right guy in terms of the right mentality, 100%, but his tactics are terrible. The way that he actually sets up his teams, he has biases for players like Sergio Roberto. He's so stubborn, and I know stubbornness is normal, but he's so stubborn. And in that kind of a situation, I don't know what to tell you. This is just a situation for the club, and I think personally Xavi needs to go. I don't know what you guys think, leave that in the comments, but I think this is the end for Barcelona in its current state. Losing 4-1 to Real Madrid is one thing. Losing it without showing any spirit and struggling to get any chances, struggling to do anything, it's absolutely ridiculous. And again, I think it's kind of over for Barcelona, and I think we have to make sure that we actually get a good manager to continue and play better.